definitely been 2-1. So kudos to him. But again, lightning quick stuff from Gokulam Kerala.
They're relying on the speed, and the speed has been a crucial factor in this game. That is why Interkashi has tried to control the tempo, try to slow it down, taking their time, just keeping the ball at their feet as much as they can, which is well done so far by Peter Hartley and Arindam. But again, at the end of the day, it's not just a game of two players. The entire team has to come together and then eventually concoct a strategy with which they can try and stall the opposition. Peter Hartley on the ball again, plays it forward. And it looks like it's going to be a free kick here in favor of Interkashi.
And Mario Barco, after telling the referee quite a few things, finally agrees with one of his calls, goes to give him a high five. And of course, the referee will not really reply to that. But one thing I'm sure Interkashi will definitely have a word about as we see that foul is the involvement of Filjam Vikash Singh. He needs to get a little bit more involved. The number 8. And now with 5 minutes to go, Interkashi have an opportunity to put something into the box. Both their Spaniards over it. It's taken by Julien, puts it in, and the header just wide. But a decent attempt by Sumit Pasi by the looks of it.
Absolutely, that was a very good free kick taken. It's just that the header was not well directed. But he had enough power behind the ball. Had it been on target, I am sure that Arindam, in fact, not Arindam, Devansh would have had to pull off a save. A couple of square passes now being played there by Gokulam Kerala. Eventually sent downtown, not really well controlled.
Just took a look at those stats there. After all of that, the shots on target, that should be a foul again. Sumit Pasi makes the challenge and gets into the book. Srikuttan a bit too quick for Pasi on that occasion.
Srikuttan is someone who can be really lightning fast, someone who can actually take the defenders by storm. Look at this run once again. And it was his speed that allowed him to score that, or rather create that first assist. He left those couple of defenders trailing behind him, and that was his sheer blinding speed. This one, however, he was not really lucky. The defenders weren't kind enough to him in the first place.
Yeah,
And
I think.
as a result, he got a yellow card.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but if he did get away, then it could have been a second goal, and that's why Sumit Pasi made that challenge there, quite far away from the box. Sanchez is just having a word as to where the ball will be put in. I'm sure it will be as close to Boba Amino as possible. Here comes Edu Beltia with that lovely left foot of his, and he plays it wide. Chance for a cross here. They're asking for a handball. It did deflect off the foot. So that's why I think that's a correct decision from the referee. But a bit of a heart-in-mouth moment there for Interkashi. But it is all fine at the end of it.
You know, this has been a lightning fast encounter. We didn't even have the time to breathe, actually. I mean, you blink and you miss. That's the kind of condition that we are in the midst of. This has been a boiling cauldron of some tremendous action. Both the teams are pretty high on adrenaline. Both the teams are pretty committed to the cause of scoring. This time, though, that long ball didn't really work out because Interkashi's defense has stood tall, and eventually a long ball comes in. Interkashi does well to latch onto it. Could have been a chance if he could have just got the cross slightly in a better position. Throw in favor of Gokulam Kerala, or Interkashi rather, apologies.
Mario Bako, whenever he gets the ball, is looking quite dangerous. Likes to cut inside, can also move outside and play the ball in like we saw when he created the goal. So he's also someone to watch out for. And it's so exciting, isn't it, Rohit? We're not even into the second game or halftime of the second game, and there's so many players to watch out for. This is definitely going to be a season to remember.
Absolutely, there's no second thoughts on that. Particularly, you know, when you talk about I-League, when you talk about the gentry of players, it produces year in, year out. And like we mentioned in the first game as well, they are the ones who go on to play the bigger leagues later, go on to get very lucrative contracts, go on to don the Indian threads, which is a matter of pride. I think that tells you countless stories about how important this league is. This can be another chance here. The captain was in the lookout for his second goal of the evening. Unfortunately, he was very well shielded by Peter Hartley once again.
Exactly, and the fact that players like Edu Bedia and Peter Hartley are in them, are coming and playing in the I League after very successful stints, all of them winning silverware in the Indian Super League, is just a testament to how good the I League is. And of course, fresh players coming in for the first time, like the likes of Alexis Sanchez and Mario Barco and the rest, is definitely something that we can look forward to day in, day out. And the action has only just started. We do have a double header for you again tomorrow. That one won't be able to be kept in by Shikutan, but he's always on the lookout, Edubetia, for a forward pass.
Absolutely. I mean, Edu Bedia kind of thrives in them. We talked about this before. He's a magician out in the midfield. And now, as we head towards the twilight of the first half, a few more seconds of regulation time, and then 3 minutes of additional minute, 3 additional minutes that has been awarded. Well, this looks like a very good run. Nikom on the ball, sends in a cross from the right, goal scoring chance, and he drags it wide. That was another gilt-edged opportunity had he kept it on target. Unfortunately, it's not to be.
What a chance again. Hakku makes the mistake, but then makes amends. Mario Barco, do not give him a sniff. And this was the first proper chance that he's had. And he was looking for that bottom left corner. He's still disappointed. Abdul Hakku will be quite relieved that he could get back in and make that challenge. But now another chance for a corner. Can Kashi pull off a surprise second goal? Peter Hartley was right there, and usually he does not miss. He's got 6 goals in the Indian Super League, and that should have been his first in the I League for sure.
A classic centre back, all set there to try and hammer it home. Unfortunately, couldn't get it on target. I'm sure Peter Hartley, he'll have a couple of thoughts when he's back in the dressing room after these 3 additional minutes. That was a sensational chance. And what a game we are witnessing here. The pendulum oscillating from one end to the other. Both the teams are high on attack. Both the teams believe in the age-old ethos. Attack is the best defense.
Oh, yes. And so many chances have been created. End to end stuff, whether it's the crosses or the swift turns from Interkashi, or whether it's the long balls and then crosses from the outside and speed on the wing for Gokulam Kerala. There are always chances. That pass wasn't the best option, though, from the boot of Francisco Perdomo Burgess. And that will be fine tuned. He will probably realize that his winger Nofal likes the ball towards the wing rather than making that inward run.
Absolutely. I mean, since you mentioned that they will be fine tuned, I'll echo you here. Because, give them a couple of games and this entire gameplay, whatever errors that you're seeing right now, that will change. Because it's just a matter of a few moments spent together on the ground, understand each other's game, and then start forward with that chemistry. That's a lovely ball, though, and kind of desperation there from Gokulam Kerala to try and reach out for that. However, it was not to be, and at the moment you've got Biong with the throw in. Final few seconds of first half remaining, and it'll go all the way to Arindam Bhattacharya.
Yeah, and you just mentioned Konjam Beong, the left back for Interkashi, and he has had a tough time dealing with Nofal. And with that, it's half time at Kozhikode. What a game this has been so far. Gokulam Kerala and Interkashi 1-1 at the end of the 45 minutes. And the good news, Rohit, half of what has been a fascinating encounter between Gokulam Kerala, the two-time I-League champions, and Inter Kashi, who have only played 45 minutes of I-League football but have already impressed immensely. The next 45 minutes will decide which one of these teams can join Real Kashmir on 3 points after one game in the I League, or will we have a draw and have our first deadlock of this season? Here come Gokulam Kerala again. Chance for a cross. It's not taken, a bit of a slip. And that is a bit of fancy footwork from Edmund, who is looking very confident after that goal. And that's exactly what a goal can do to you. And back with P is Rohit. What do you think of the second half, Rohit? What do we expect? A few more goals, perhaps?
We were talking out in the outro of that first half that maybe we won't even get an opportunity to breathe out in the second. The kind of intensity that these two teams have played with, being very honest, I really don't see how we can go ahead and think anything without then goals. That is a lovely shot from that left. And this is why we are talking about the intensity that has been so high in this game. You know, hoping for the fact that something can go wrong or something can actually, work out. Anything against the play of the game, I don't think it's going to happen.
And then we just take a look at the players on the field. Nothing really changing. Not a foul, says the referee. A bit of a chance of it. Takashi Edmund slips, takes a shot. Looks like it will be a corner. It did get a touch of someone. One of the Interkashi, in fact, two players stayed down, one from each side. But you were very right about that, Rohit. Before you can even take a breather or take a breath, they've gone towards the other end, the Interkashi, and created another chance. That was a challenge, not the best one, from the boot of Abhijit K. With the studs up, and he's hurt himself, incidentally.
Yeah, these can be really agonizing, ideally when you're going up with your studs, and particularly when you slide in and dive in, the momentum, the impact, that's always at a high. So yes, it can be dangerous. And talking about that attack from Interkashi, I mean, the way they kind of cut back in, that was crucial. Look at the stands here. A nice Saturday evening, weekends in progress. And what better way than to enjoy football if you're in Kozhikode than not to arrive in the stands? And that's the second corner for Interkashi. There it comes. Could have been close, but Arindam Bhattacharya, he was right on his money there. In fact, apologies once again. Devansh was right on his money.
Yeah, good corner once again. Boba Mino and the keeper there, Devansh, doing their best to head that away or punch that away. But you're absolutely right. It's the opening weekend of the I League, and that's always a special one. I remember as kids also just waiting for that first I League game to commence, no matter who you were a fan of. And now once again, we have that privilege of calling these games. Decent ball in. Nicely done by Bijoy, who has improved as the game has moved on. Here's Edu Bedia. Beautiful ball through again, this time a bit too much for Srikuttan. But how good has Edu Bedia been today?
He has been one of the live wires for Gokulam Kerala. We were talking about the difference in the two midfields, and Edu Bedia has been the ocean of difference, has been the man who has completely changed the narrative and has been doing a sensational piece of work out in the midfield. And to be honest, see, knowing Edu Bedia for so many years, seeing him fare out in the Indian Super League, I think we are kind of accustomed now to that epicness of his.
Oh, yes. Took the ISL by storm for many a season. As I said, won a bit of silverware, in fact, quite a bit of silverware at FC Goa, and also scored FC Goa's first goal in the AFC Champions League, and incidentally, the first goal for an Indian club in the AFC Champions League. So he does resonate a bit with Indian footballing history, does Edu Bedia. And We're quite lucky, in fact, to have him still playing in India in the form of the I League here.
Absolutely. There have been a quite few foreigners who have changed the landscape of Indian football completely. If we take a look back in those early 70s or 80s, the likes of Jamshid Nashiri, the likes of Majid Bishkar, then moving on to the 2000s, the likes of Jose Ramirez Barreto, Douglas Da Silva, Mike Okoro, and now in the recent times, the likes of Joseba Beitia, Fran Gomez, they're all sensational piece of talent. Another big name in Indian football is Zodafao Onyeka Okoli. This is another opportunity. Gokulam Kerala desperate to get a chance with himself. Nonetheless, a few short passes now, and into Kashi will be on their way to create another break. Not really the best of control here, and now steers it forward. Kind of a long chase, but that doesn't really look like Aminu, who will be beaten by that.
Another foreigner who has taken the league by storm, Baba Aminu, so pivotal in the I League campaigns where Gokulam Kerala were champions. And some illustrious names you took there, Rohit. And you just get the feeling that this particular season, this crop of players who have come in, they're just going to change things again, especially when you're vying for promotion just like you were last year. But now, having actually seen Punjab FC play in the Indian Super League and seeing how they're doing a fairly decent job, it becomes all the more that you want that ISL spot. And that is exactly why all of these players are going to be vying for that and hopefully play for that as well.
When we talk about getting promoted to ISL, that's indeed a hefty incentive that has been introduced. And, when you talk about playing in the ISL, it's not just about getting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just about getting towards the Indian Super League, but also trying to stay there. And that is what Punjab FC are trying to do this time round. Of course, that's given away. Chance for Interkashi here. Edubedia goes down, and there was a bit of a studs challenge. And that's why it's been given for him as he goes down.
Firstly, apologies for the same and excuse me as well. And yeah, we were talking about it's not just about getting into the ISL anymore. When you get into the ISL, you get a lot of new players, young players to rub your shoulders with, particularly the likes of foreigners who come into the game. That was the foul, though. He rammed straight at him. And now Gokulam Kerala are on their way once again. Nicely received, trying to use the central channel to their advantage. Plays it back to the right wing, though.
Now a bit of a period where both the sides will again get accustomed to life after the halftime break. A few adjustments perhaps from the coaches Domingo Cabrera and Carlos Santamarina. Arindam just getting there ahead of Alex Sanchez. Interkashi now playing from the back. Arindam not taking any chances, booting that away.
Arindam is someone who really doesn't like taking chances. He is one of those goalkeepers who's got tremendous clarity about how he's going to distribute the ball. And most importantly, he's one goalkeeper who likes to play those ground passes as well. But ideally, when he takes those ground passes, you won't really be seeing him permeating the ball close around. That's a lovely ball. Opportunity. Arindam makes a howler there. That's goal number 2 for Gokulam Kerala. And celebrations start once again. It's a sensational chance, and it's only due to Arindam. That ball has gone into the back of the net. It's Mohammad Shahif with the second goal. Well, apologies, it looks like it's Nufal who's got the second goal. But that is more of a howler committed by Arindam that allowed the goal, more than the credit of the player. But kudos to the acumen. He had his eyes on the goal. He knew exactly what to do.
What a finish eventually by Nofal. Arindam caught in no man's land, but still he had a lot of work to do. Arindam comes out for it. Nofal chips him, and then there was no chance for Hartley to get back at it. Just a bit of awkward bounce there for Arindam. And as we were speaking about him and his outings, it's a goal for Gokulam Kerala and a bit of a gift, but a gift that had to be taken as the Malabarians, in a resonating voice, once again around Kozhikode, give them a chance to sit and chance, and they will take it just like their strikers take chances in front of goal.
Absolutely, I believe, given the fact that Arindam had to come out of his line initially, even knowing that the ball was out of his reach, he could have at least tried to throw that flying punch to the ball, get something to it, just disrupt the trajectory of the ball, even by an inch. That can lead to a significant change in the ball's trajectory. But Arindam suddenly got confounded there. He didn't know what to do, and as a result, Nufal didn't really miss from that range. And what a start. We were talking about another intense half. Liam, I think our wishes have been granted. They say be careful what you wish for. Well, it looks like this is another chance for Kashi to try and unload one of those belters there.
Yeah, could we get another goal in quick succession? Chance for a free kick here. Del Pino stands over it. In fact, he leaves it. That's a good shot and a brilliant save by Devansh Dabas. First time we've seen him sprawling himself, and that's beautifully done by him. Good free kick as well. I think it was from Jordan Lamela.
Oh, that felt like an eagle flying to pounce upon its prey. That is a sensational save. Believe me, despite the fact that Gokulam Kerala may have taken the lead, may have got their noses ahead, we are far from the finish line. We are just starting, and both the teams are starting to warm up at the moment. And very shortly, let's say around 4 minutes from now, both the teams will be bearing their arsenal out.
No, absolutely. A great save there from Devansh, which will give him a lot of confidence as well. And to wait here with another challenge. It's called by the ref. And for how much longer will he not go into his pocket here? This time it's Vikash who goes down. Got to be careful with those challenges there, Edubedia.
Yeah, despite the fact that they are leading, they cannot take things easy. That was the free kick. Sensational save here from Devansh. Another free kick, almost from a similar position.
I think this one will be floated towards the likes of Peter Hartley. We always get a left foot and a right foot. This time it is Jordan Lamela once again. Interesting to see both of them always standing over it. Jordan and Julian Perez Del Pino. Somebody has stayed down on the edge of the Gokulam area. That's a very good challenge to retrieve the ball by Hakku. In fact, it was Nidhin Krishna. As we just check as to who has stayed down, it is Edu Betia. He's absolutely everywhere.
Absolutely. I mean, the kind of workload that he's put up so far, that is sensational to watch. And Gokulam throughout this game, they have been sensational to watch, and so has been Kashi. Both the teams really. Now, a couple of substitutions that is about to come on. It looks like Tomba and Ishan will be coming in. Yes, Tomba definitely one of those talented midfielders who can really turn the game on with his venomous speed. And Nikum goes out, which is kind of a very shocking takeoff for me because he was doing a good job. Ishan Dey comes in, wherein P. Singh goes out. But at the moment, it looks like the Gokulam Kerala player, he's still down on his feet and he needs some treatment. I think he's copped a blow at the back of his head, which can at times lead to certain unpleasant consequences. So the referee just ensuring the fact that everything is hunky-dory before they go forward with this game, before they get the ball rolling. And the goalkeeper of Gokulam FC, he's right now boiling with confidence. Devansh Dabas after that save from the free kick. And it's Edu Bedia who's back on his feet once again, pressing out that ice bag very close to his, on the back of his head actually.
I think there were a couple of good changes to make with Ishan and Haubam coming on. Eduvidia should be fine. As I said, he's absolutely everywhere. I get your point there about taking off Gyamaniku. He was quite good in the beginning of the first half, but then I think just fizzled out. So perhaps that's why Coach Santa Marina decided to take off the youngster. But a couple of promising players to replace him as well. How about Tomba Singh? Spent a bit of time at East Bengal as well. And it was Ishan Dey who was at Sudeva Delhi. Also a bit of time in the Hyderabad FC reserve team and also Bengaluru United. Decent ball. Amino leaves it, and that was slightly a bit of a miscommunication between him and Devansh. But it's all good in the Gokulam Kerala back line.
When we witness such high octane action, a few mistakes can happen out in the back line because they are constantly under threat. They are constantly trying to find a way forward. Into Kashi with the ball right now, though. And does well to steer past. Tomba Singh wanted to play it forward, but then was intercepted. Gokulam Kerala slightly overpowering that ball. Could have done better, actually. It goes out of play there.
That was Abdul Haku. Has made a couple of errors when it comes to passing, even in his own penalty area. But he knows exactly how to brush those mistakes aside and keep going. Spent a bit of time for Northeast United and Kerala Blasters as well. Decent delivery in. Nicely done by Bijoy, who's always in the right place at the right time. In the last few minutes, overlapping run takes place. But again, great stuff from Nofal. Couldn't get the pass he was looking for. Here is Tomba. A challenge. And then a kick away of the ball, which is not really appreciated by the rest of the Interkashi players from Perdomo.
Yeah, I think Perdomo knew it instantly. Kind of went with clasped hands in front of the referee. Plays it to the far right now. Interkashi trying to create, trying to use that wing to their advantage. Unfortunately, it looks like the final touch was from the boot of the incoming Ishan Dey. And eventually it's going to be a throw in here in favor of Gokulam Kerala. Edupedia making quite an expression there. Quite an animated one indeed. But it looks like a player for Gokulam has actually gone down and needs some treatment.
What is that time of the match where players will start feeling it? Yes, it has only been an hour, but with the intensity of this game, you can understand why even a slight knock will keep you down for half a minute extra.
Also, the weight of the scoreboard at times can be there. But once again, it's really good to see that the players are back on their feet. What's more important to us is that it was Mohammad Shahif who's got back up on his feet. To be honest, it's always important that all the players are up on their feet, hunky-dory, marching off the ground. It doesn't really matter what the consequences, what the repercussions of the game are. It all comes later. But fitness of a player, that fact that they are safe and sound, they're hunky-dory, that is of paramount importance. Because everybody is out here to make a career of this game. Everybody is out here because they love the game. And now it's Interkashi, back to Peter Hartley. Peter Hartley plays a square pass towards the far right. Not well kept at all there by Bijoy V. Time and time again, he's let those balls leak from his end.
Yeah, just as I was praising him, just making, I wouldn't say an error, but a slight change in concentration from him. Oh, he's all over him there. Sumit Pasi, and in fact, he's been given the other way. Quite surprisingly, good battle between Shrikuttan and Sumit Pasi. And just take a look at Interkashi's upcoming fixtures. You are right about that baptism of fire because they play Gokulam Kerala today. Then they face Srinidhi Deccan, who came second in last season's I League. So it's not going to be easy for them. And after that, on Monday, 6th November, mark your calendars because it's Namdhari FC versus Interkashi. Both the new sides taking on each other. And it might be the case where both of them will be battling it out for maybe their first 3 points. You never know.
Absolutely. There's going to be a flurry of impressive games coming on. We were talking about crowds a few moments ago. The official attendance for the game on a Saturday evening, it's just the curtain raiser, the second game, and it's 19,764. And that tells you a story, Liam, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. You said that if we have to speak about Kerala crowds, then we'll have to open a book. And you're absolutely right about that. They are so passionate, so loud, and very in your face when you're coming as an opponent player. And it has been them who has spurred on Gokulam Kerala in their initial I League winning season. And after that as well, that's a good ball through. Chance for Ishan. Doesn't go down, plays it through. And this is still an opportunity, but a great touch by Edu Bedia. Perhaps the shot could have been taken first time round from Jordan Lamela.
Yeah, he took a bit too longer. That should have been pegged back right there. At times you have to decide, at times you have to take it on the move. You simply just can't go ahead waiting because we know every second counts, every yard counts. And I think Jordan Lamela, he thought that maybe if he could have set himself in the stride, that would have been better. Because ideally, when you're shooting on the move, at times the ball tend to go slightly higher than you anticipate. But then if you're playing at such a top tier like I League, I think you should be having this much belief in your on the move shots.
Yeah, I'm sure he does, but as you said, the weight of the scoreboard is the problem. No foul puts a ball in. Is this a chance? Good piece of defending again as Takashi move forward. Here is Lamela. Nice ball from him towards Ishan.
But nonetheless, they have got the likes of Emmanuel.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised with that. Salam Ranjan will probably slot into that position of Boba Amino because Justin Emmanuel is a forward line player. Salam Ranjan, as you mentioned, has been all around, had a lot of time at Bengaluru, East Bengal, a couple of stints, a couple of matches at Northeast United as well, ATK and ATK Mohun Bagan when they had that winning season for ATK, and then playing for Chennai and Trau, and now will be hoping to find his feet in Gokulam Kerala because it hasn't really worked out in the past few clubs. So I think this is a good fit, in fact, for Salam Ranjan Singh. It's just that he's not going to start every game ahead of someone like Amino. So he'll have to make the most of this opportunity in the next 20 minutes or so. That's a decent ball in. And just to show you that Devansh is absolutely fine.
Since you mentioned about Salam Ranjan Singh's opportunity, these 20 minutes, they are going to be crucial because Inter Kashi is right now throwing the kitchen sink at their opposition. Until the time they keep on doing that, they'll need some crucial defense. The captain of Gokulam Kerala comes up with another attack. That will be, or that could have been goal number 3. That was tougher to miss than to score. And somehow the ball didn't get into the back of the net. Another sensational delivery.
It was just that deflection which came off Sumit Pasi, which made it really tough. A big opportunity there for Gokulam Kerala. It was Mohammad Sahif who found himself in a very good position. And that touch of Pasi just made it difficult to adjust himself. Here coming Takashi again. Lamela with the ball, but too much on it, using his right foot this time round, and quite disappointed with that delivery.
In the second half, I mean, the two wings that were kind of being the fire path for Intakashi with the likes of Gyama Nikom and with the likes of Mario Barco Villar on the two wings just spitting fire. I think that has somewhat been doused. They are not using the wings too much. They are trying to use the long balls to their advantage and the set pieces to their advantage, which is good to see, of course. But ideally, if you have a certain plan of attack that you have started with and it's actually done well, it's not that it hasn't. So if it's done well, I think you should try and also consider keeping that as a long-term option. Nonetheless, it's a throw in here for Intakashi. They'll take it quickly. Peter Hartley, he has not been involved in much of action in the second half. The first half, Peter Hartley, he has not been Now that we watch the state leagues as well, here's a change happening, however. We'll get back to that point. And it looks like Gokulam Kerala will bring in Rishad. We were talking about him in the initial times. And Rishad will be making way to the center, while Nofal Hussain, who scored the second goal, will be going out. So this is another interesting move. And Rishad is someone who's gifted with some tremendous speed. He doesn't stop. It feels like he's got an oxygen cylinder on his back when he's running down the central channel. And he's also a very versatile footballer.
Oh, yes, I was just coming to that. He can play down the wing, he can play in the center, he can score goals, he can make the challenges. Rishad, quite surprised he didn't start, in fact, but whenever he does come on or wherever he does, he makes his presence felt. Lamela puts that ball through, but there's no one home in a blue shirt. And you just get the feeling that Nofal and his engine was done because he ran and has been a superb starter for Gokulam Kerala today and getting a goal as well.
This is why I think since the pandemic, when the rule of the five substitutes came in, it's come out as a massive reprieve for these players as well. Because it's easier said than done. That can't you play 90 minutes on the field? But believe me, under such heat, with such intensity, when you're running all the way in the ground for 90 minutes, it's like a relentless war that you're fighting. Your lungs at times give in, and there's a bit of tempers flaring altogether. And the referee quickly laying down the law, ensuring the fact that he's admonishing Nidhin Krishna. Know your place. I'll always have the weapons of cards in my pocket.
Oh, yes, good refereeing there from Mrityunjaya Amatya, as we see a bit of cramp for Bijoy by the looks of it. And just coming back to that wonderful evening at the Salt Lake Stadium a couple of years ago, it was a certain Shad which got that winning goal. In fact, one of the goals, the other goal was scored by Emil Benny. What a night that was at the Salt Lake, especially for Gokulam Kerala, coming to Mohammedan Sporting's home ground and lifting the I League title. How they would love to do it again, especially because if Gokulam Kerala can get promoted, then we will see a dream matchup for Kerala football fans. And that is Gokulam Kerala versus Kerala Blasters. Can you imagine the stadium there, Rohit?
You know, even in my wildest imaginations, he will really not like to imagine that. Not because it's not something which is great, but because of the noise that it will create. It will be like a sonic boom, mother of all sonic booms, that will be ripping through the fabric of space and time. That will make Indian football or give us one of those derbies that we have so desperately to look forward to. There have been a few derbies that are already in place in India. Talking about derbies, the likes of East Bengal and Mohun Bagan has been quite an intrinsic part of I League for a while. And definitely, if we get another derby coming all the way from the south, why not?
Oh, yes, we're definitely up for it as well, as we see a bit of a card shown to one of the Interkashi staff, not to show who it is on the bench. I don't think it was given to Coach Santa Marina, but one of his assistants. We'll have to confirm that. But for now, Bijoy is up and with 10 minutes to play. Can Inter Kashi get what would be
for the men in blue out here in Kozhikode. And they should take heart from this game, even though there's 10 minutes of regulation time, a few minutes of additional time to be given. So, yes, it's a long way from the finish line. But what I'm trying to say is, like, the kind of football that they have played, they should be all heart about that. Yes, maybe a bit of fine tuning is needed, maybe a bit more precision when it comes to finishing things should be needed. But if they have played against a side like Gokulam Kerala, oh, that would have been a stunning goal. But Arindam Bhattacharya pulling off a crucial save in the dying embers. Edu Bedia would have been immortalized had that ball gone into the back of the net. Sensational stuff from Arindam there.
quality and quality? That's what these two possess. I just tried to catch him off there, but Arindam got back and said, "No, you aren't going to chip me." Not for the second time in one game, but what a goal that would have been from Edubedia. He is absolutely something else. He's something special. And here comes Bedia again, looking for a ball in. Hartley is there, jumping up and down. And again, Arindam with the touch. It should be another corner, looking for an Olympic goal there. Was Edubedia? Arindam doing quite well.
I was just about to ask you, Liam, that had Arindam not got the touch, that would have been a famous Olympico. What a sight it would have been for Indian football indeed. Here's another corner coming from the far right, far left in fact. Arindam pulls off another crucial save. 3 crucial saves in a span of 2 minutes. And this is where experience counts. This time though, the through ball that was expected, that was slightly overpowered. Into Kashi trying to control that. Eventually they'll have to give in possession. Sumit Pasi not really able to monitor the move there.
And with that, it. Sorry to cut you off there. With that, it is Mohammad Asif who will be coming on. Looks like he for a ball in, and yet another corner for.
And I think that is the right approach, because ideally when you are standing on the precipice, we'll get back to that precipice part right now. I think there's this player down for Kashi. He'll need some support, and most likely it's a pull, because I think it's a hamstring that's under the scanner here.
It looks like it is Bijoy who went down earlier on, and now it might be time to take him off. There are options on the bench, as you've said before, in the defensive side of things. There's Ruatha. There's Anil Chauhan. There is Deepak Devrani, Tejas Krishna. And that's not good to see. Bijoy stretchered off. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, and we wish him a speedy recovery.
You know, from Bijoy's part, despite starting the game with a few initial jitters, the way he came back in the game, that was absolutely extraordinary. And here is another chance. Here comes the corner floating in from the right. Arindam doesn't really clear it like he should have. But good work there by the Interkashi defense, eventually clearing their danger lines.
I think that was a decent touch, in fact, by Rindam, just making sure that nobody gets a clear shot on goal, parrying it away from the path of Sanchez. There's Rishad Perdomo finding himself lots of free space in the last 5 minutes. Launches it long once again, but the defense doing a good job for Interkashi, keeping themselves in it. Hartley's clearance will go out for a throw. And now we're coming towards the end of this second game. Bijoy definitely off. Looks like someone has come in place of him, and it will be Deepak Devrani.
Deepak Devrani is an experienced player. He's played theirs, and then he went on to sign for and Deepak Devrani.
Deepak to just come in and defend with all their lives here in Takashi, trying to keep this game alive. And it's like Nidoma has been everywhere in the last 5 minutes. Rindam, who's also been everywhere in that area of his, gets another fist. And Edube, they are now looking for a bit of space. Decent delivery again. Relentless stuff from Gokulam Kerala in the last few minutes, but they've given it away here. Not the best of passes, otherwise that would have been a decent counter-attacking opportunity for Interkashi.
Arindam making amends for that miss of his. Another couple of substitutions here for Gokulam Kerala, and it looks like they are bringing in their ace card, Kumron Tursunov, into the mix. And alongside him will be Basit Ahmed Bhatt, will be making way to the center. And we were talking about Arindam's redemption. I mean, the second goal, he was slightly out of his depth there. And eventually their captain, their hero, will be walking out. What a sensational game has this been for Alejandro Sanchez Lopez.
I have to agree with you. He's been very good. Could have had maybe one more goal. That left-footed shot just passing the second post. Of course, scored the first goal of the game. Interkashi not being able to play those passes. And of course, Komron Tursunov needs no introduction. You've already alluded to it. Was in that I-League winning campaign for Mohun Bagan. Played for Chow as well. Where they came third in the I-League. A bit of a stint in Rajasthan United and also Churchill Brothers. But Basit Ahmed Bhatt recently featuring for Sudeva Delhi, doing really well. When they were in the I-League, and has also had a bit of a spell in Kerala Blasters reserve side. So an array of options for both managers is
Be one more.
we will have quite a bit of added time as we move into the final minute of what has been a pulsating game between two sides who have been very quick in attack, slightly unstable sometimes in defense, but we've seen very good goalkeeping on either side. And if this is a sign of things to come, then Gokulam Kerala, as always, will be vying for a place at the top of the I-League, and Kashi will be in and around. They will give plenty of sides a run for their money.
Yeah, a quick question. Another 100-minute game?
Oh yes, it could be, because it's 8 minutes of added time, and we might see someone going down again, or maybe a substitution. Peter Hartley says it's 8 minutes. That's a lot of time, and alluding to the fact that yes, the first game of the day did go to the 100 minutes, and we might see a lot of that, especially because there are five substitutions each. If both teams use five substitutions each, that's 10 subs throughout the game. So it might be a regular feature in this I League campaign.
Also, another fact is that this game has been so high octane. Both the teams have attacked as well. So, a lot of times the ball has gone out of play at the two ends, eventually leading to corners and at times free kicks as well. This can be a fine run here. There comes a cross, come floating in. Opportunity, and the ball's gone into the back of the net. An equalizer out of nowhere, and into Kashi is going berserk with exhilarations. Why not? Once again, it's Mario Marco Villar who's found the back of the net. We'll have to see whether the goal is given to him or not.
What have we just witnessed? Devansh looked like he had it covered. It was an innocuous cross from Mario Barco Villar. I think someone else got the touch. It's definitely a goal, and the silence in Kozhikode just speaks for itself. Inter Kashi have somehow got a second. It's 2-2. Let's take another look at it. He missed it, and the touch came in. What a finish that was. I think it was Mohammad Asif. It hit Devansh and went in. Might be given as an own goal, but credit to Asif, who just stayed there, peeled off, and had to plonk it in. Mario Barco Villar will celebrate, but I'm sure upon review, the goal will be either given to Asif. And now Arindam, the old fox, goes down in his box because he is injured as well.
Oh, believe me, Liam, we're just witnessing something epic. And this is why they say that you always need to keep your eyes on the ball. You always need to be focused on the game. Anything can happen at any point in time. And a certain Sir Alex Ferguson once said, football bloody hell. This is the reason why he said it. Games like this is what we frequent the stadiums for. An absolute crackerjack of an encounter. Again, that goal may have come out of a very isolated opportunity, but to be honest, the way Inter Kashi has played, they thoroughly deserve that goal.
Oh, yes, I agree. They have put Devansh under a bit of pressure. He thought he had it covered. It was an awkward one, so we won't put too much of pressure on the keeper, but he should have got a touch away, that's for sure. And now a few arguments taking place. Peter Hartley explaining that Arindam had to go down. I think he just went down to tie his laces. But 3 minutes in, can Inter Kashi produce something special here? Can they create another chance and stun Gokulam Kerala at home if they aren't already stunned enough?
We won't be surprised. Keep your eyes on the ball. Oh my word, confusion altogether. Devansh suddenly coming out of his depth and finding himself caught in the midst of choppy waters. Trouble straight away.
Problem there between Devansh and Salam Ranjan Singh. The same thing happened between the keeper and Ameno, and they're at 6s and 7s here. Gokulam Kerala defense, Lamela sees that and tries a long throw, doesn't really work. Ranjan doesn't get the best of connections, and now it can move forward. That's a decent ball into the area. A bit of pace shown, but good covering there from Deepak Devrani. When something has happened off the ball, he's probably gone into Perdomo, and it's a yellow card, and Deepak doesn't really know why it's been given. It's all happening towards the end of this game, Rohit.
More importantly, I think they're having a word. It can be a penalty as well. I think they're arguing for that. It should be somewhere outside the box on the edge. It looks like it's outside the box. So that will be a sigh of reprieve, but that is a very dangerous position to have a free kick from. What a finish are we witnessing here, Liam. This is drama. This is craziness at its finest.
Deepak Devrani is not happy with the decision. You're right, Rohit. The fact that it's outside the area It's a sigh of relief if you're an Interkashi fan. Comron standing over it. So is Edubedia. He might take it because of the preferred left foot. If there are two people in the I League you don't want standing over a free kick in the 9th, Comron says something to him. It is Edubedia. He's almost put it in. It's the side netting before the whole of Kerala erupts. We'll have to just calm it down a bit.
I think we erupted in the commentary box itself the moment the net had a bit of a flinch. Again, you're talking about a sigh of reprieve when Edubedia and Kumran Tursunov is on the free kick. It's never a sigh of reprieve, particularly Edubedia. Once again, we'll take a look at it. Edubedia did put in the right height behind the ball. It's just that the swerve was a bit too much. And to be honest, Arindam was never going to be beaten by that. Oh, it looks like, I think he may get a card, yeah. Oh, yes, he has. Yellow card for wasting time. He was taking a bit too long for that goal kick.
Yeah, Arindam just grabbing a drink of water and now has a word with the referee. He will take even longer now to place the ball. It's as if that yellow card has given him 20 more seconds, but he knows exactly what he's doing, just running the clock down because this will be a famous point for Interkashi if they can get it. Can they get two more? A shot from distance. The save is made by Devansh, and the second time round he goes for it. They're asking for a penalty on the ball, says the referee. Late drama, and Interkashi will come forward with it once again.
What a game has this been, and what are we witnessing still? It's still not over. There comes the cross. Interkashi going for that header, but slightly away, and it looks like the ball is still going to roll, and now Gokulam Kerala will launch an attack of their own. Edubedia trying to create space and trying to get some support for himself. And I think the play will have to be halted, is it?
They're dropping like flies at the moment, Rohit. I think that was a bit of an elbow. I don't know if it was to the face. And that's exactly what the Interkashi players are going and asking for. It's not going to be given now, of course. The referee was right there. As it was Mario Barco who went down. Devansh must be just wanting this game to finish, but he did make a good save. Almost gave away a penalty after that, and now Mario gets up and says it was probably an elbow to the throat. Then Edubedia went down with a bit of a cramp. He's okay. Incredible stuff.
Absolutely. An oscillating encounter, a pulsating high-octane battle of two sides for Interkashi. This is their first rodeo in the tournament. Once again, just trying to show you how it happened. There was a bit of elbow involved, but it didn't really look that consequential to us. But again, now that you will have to steal those crucial seconds, you will probably do everything that you can. These are small tactics that has been prevalent in football for ages now. There comes another long ball from Edubedia. Peter Hartley gets it away. And slow passes now.
Yeah, Gokulam Kerala looking for that winner. As we move into what will be the 100th minute of the game again. Again, a bit of a touch. And before anybody else goes down, it is the first point in I-League history for Interkashi. They've played one, they get 1 point, and it's a bit of an upset against the two-time champions in Gokulam Kerala. It's 2-2 at Kozhikode, but tensions are feeling quite high here at the EMS Corporation Stadium. The referee will have an earful, but we have had a glorious second match in this season's I-League, and if this is a sign of things to come, then what a season it's going to be, Rohit.
Talk about season start omens, and we've had a sensational fixture indeed. That's the stats for the day. 47% ball possession for Gokulam, 53 for Interkashi, 12 shots for Gokulam, 10 for Interkashi, 5 on target for Gokulam, 7 for Interkashi. The fouls are pretty much neck to neck for both the sides. 3 yellow cards for Interkashi, 3 corners for Interkashi, wherein 7 for Gokulam, and just that 1 offside for Gokulam Kerala. And you were talking about history. we'll talk about what led to the history. First, we'll look at the shots taken by Gokulam Kerala. Lopez came forward with that important goal, and then Abhijit as well, finding himself. Buba, he took a couple of shots. Shrikuttan was sensational. Nufal PN scored that all-important second goal. And then Pillais as well took that shot from range before Mohammad Shaif unloaded an effort of his own.
Then into Kashi took their shots as well. 4 from Mario Barco Villar. He created so many chances as well. What a start to the campaign for the Spaniard. Peter Hartley had a couple of chances. Edmund scored Inter Kashi's first goal in I-League history. What a moment for him. Mohammad Asif and Singh also getting a couple of chances in.
They are the fouls that were committed by Gokulam Kerala. Pillais committed a couple of them, and in pretty contrasting positions, to be honest. Abhijit had just one of them. Basit had one of them as well. And then Borges, he committed just at the edge of the box. Buba, he was sensational throughout the game, but did commit one foul. Nitin Krishna had to pull one of those fouls to save his team, and Lopez with one foul as well.
9 fouls for Inter Kashi. Towards the end of the game, we saw quite a bit of fouls. And Mario Barco Villar is quite a small man, but packs a punch indeed. 3 fouls from him, 1 apiece from the rest of the Inter Kashi players, who will be delighted at this performance. Yes, they might have been able to get a win as well, but at the end of it, it's just 1 point for Inter Kashi and Gokulam Kerala.
We'll also try and show you the highlights of the game in very quick time. But again, a set of 22 players unfurling themselves, unraveling themselves in a fierce contest of 90 minutes. Tremendous stuff indeed. It was absolutely a rollicking encounter. But more importantly, Inter Kashi, the way they played, they will be exhilarated with that.